All right, everybody, today we're going to be doing the review sheet for the test. I'm going to go over all these problems so you'll be able to do them, which means you should have no problems with the ones I'm going to do on the test because they are almost a direct reflection of these problems, just changing the numbers and the answer, of course, the answers with those numbers. All right, so let's go ahead and work them on my smartboard. I'll start with number one. Number one says change 33 over 50 to a decimal. I know any fraction is really a division problem, so this is really 33 divided by 50. And I know that I have to put my decimal where it belongs, which means I could add a zero. 50 goes into 300, but 6 times. That's going to leave us 30. And again, we'll add a zero. And again, 50 goes into 300 6 times, and this time we have a remainder of 0. So answer should be 0.66. Notice we do not have a line over it because it does not repeat and go on forever. Number 2 says change 0.26 into a fraction. Well, that's pretty easy. I simply take 0.26. I realize since there's no line over it, that means I can change it to a fraction by putting a 0 underneath it, each one of the numbers, and then put a 1 in front of it. Now I have to divide by 2 over 2, because they're both even numbers, and that's going to give me 13 over 50. And that should be simplified. 13 over 50, there you go, up 8. Next is change 0.46 repeating into a fraction. This time there is a line over our decimal. And I said if there is a line, instead of a 0, we're going to put a 9 underneath. So this would be 4, 6 with 9s under it. If I could reduce it, I would, but in this case, I cannot. There's nothing that divides into 46 and 99, so my answer would be C. Number 4 says negative 4 over 14 plus 7 over, or 3 over 7. If I was going to do this, I'd multiply this to 2 over 2, so I could get my denominator the same, which would give me 6 over 14. And I realize I have a negative and a positive number. Remember, let's rewrite this to show that it is negative 4 over 14. Sorry about that. Okay, let's try this again. Let's see. I'm going to rewrite it as negative 4 over 14. And we're going to add 6 over 14. Now I have one negative and one positive. My signs are different, so I find the difference, which means I'm going to subtract. I'm going to take the big number minus the small number, keep the sign of the big number. I know it's going to be positive because positive 6 is equal to negative 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. That'll give me 2 over 14. Remember, we need to simplify this, and we can divide both of these by 2. And that's going to equal, well, actually dividing it by 1 in the form of 2 over 2. That will give us 1 over 7. My answer should be B. Next, I should be doing number 5. And again, we have these mixed numbers. A positive times a negative is a negative. So I can rewrite this to show that I have 2 and 3 over 7 minus 4 over 7. Now I can remember I can take 2 and 3 sevens, turn it into an improper fraction. That's 14, 15, 16, 17, so that's 17 over 7 minus 4 over 7. And 17 minus 4 is 13. All right then, now I got to remember this is an improper fraction, so I'm going to remember that this is also a division problem. It's 13 divided by 7. 7 goes into 13 one time. with 6 left over. So my answer should be 1 and 6 over 7. There it is. Number 6 says I've got negative 3 and 5, 6 minus negative 2 and 1/3. Remember, negative times a negative is a positive. So this is really negative 3 and 5, 6 plus 2 and 1/3. Those negatives go away because they combine to make a positive. Now I've got to go ahead and make my denominator the same. I remember I can multiply 3 times 2, and that means I'll multiply 1 times 2. That make my denominator 6. So it's going to be negative 3 and 5, 6. And we're going to be adding, let's see, if I multiply this, that'd be 2 over 6. So it's 2 and 2, 6. All right, and now I can go ahead and subtract from the other. I could turn them into improper fractions if I want to, and this would end up being 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, being negative 23 over 6, plus, let's see, this would be 12, 13, 14, so this would be 14 over 6. And now I realize I have to take the big number minus the small number. 23 minus 4 is going to give me, well, 9. And that would give me 9 over 6. Well, 9 over 6 is an improper fraction, which I can turn into, well, 6 goes into 9 one time with 3 left over, so that would be 1 and 3 over 6. And of course, 3 over 6 can be reduced to 1/2, so that's going to be well, the negative. Remember, the bigger number was negative, so negative 1 and 1/2. That would be D. Let's see, number 7, multiplication. Multiply the tops to top, bottom, bottom, but I could do the butterfly method first. Turn these into 1. I'd also do it here. Turn that into 5, and then turn that into a 1. And I got negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. And a 1 times 5 is 5. The answer should be negative 1 over 5. 8, Dave descends 500 yards underwater in 1 minute. In 2.5 minutes, he descends what? Well, that simply descends 500, be a negative 500. I'd be multiplying that to 2.5. Let's see, well, that's going to give me, well, negative times a positive is a negative, and 500 times 2.5 is 1, 2, 5, 125. I believe it's 1,250. Let's work it like we would do a multiplication problem, right? So, 500 multiplied to 2.5, and that's going to be 0, 0, 25, and then we have 0, and 0, and 10. And that's going to be 0, and 0, 5, and 2, and 1. Now I have to move those decimals one spot over, so that would be here. Yeah, it would be 1,250 then. So since it's negative, a negative 1,250. We're up to number 9 now. This one's pretty easy. 8.26. We're going to divide it by 0.2. Negative 0.2, that is. Well, a positive divided by negative will give us a negative answer. We'll move our decimal over one spot now. Realize 2 goes into 8 4 times. 2 goes into 2 one time. Our decimals over here, and 2 goes into 6 3 times. Our answer must be negative 41.3, negative 41.3. And our last one says we're dividing fractions, and we're going to use good old KFC for this. Or for those of you stuck on KCF, that's fine too. Means we're going to keep that first number the same. We're going to flip that second number, and we're going to change from division to multiplication. How we do this, we realize we can get rid of these 5s. And now I have negative 3 times negative 1. That's going to be 3. And 1 times 1, oh. So that would be 3. All right, that's all the review sheet. And that means if you're ready to do this review sheet, you're ready to take that test. If you got any questions about it, please ask me in class tomorrow. All right, good luck and have a great night. Good night.